All right, Trace.
Nick.
What's going on?
Oh, it was going great until it wasn't, Nick. That's what it was. It was going real good until it wasn't.
Where are you at? We're doing some last-minute streaming adjustments today. What are you up to this evening?
I have a situation where I had to build an electrical box, which I did successfully. But I have a uncle who's an electrician, and there was some small tweaks at the end that needed to be made, and decided instead of trying to figure it out on my own, I'd just come out here to somebody that knows exactly what they're doing and get it done relatively quickly. So I am at their mercy. They are helping me out, and I am currently just taking a reprieve from that to talk some Reds baseball because we love the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, there it is.
And they love us back, I think. Let's get into it.
All right.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the world, bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Red win! Line in right field. Genius, the first Red ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won it on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right. Your Reds fall 11-6 to the Colorado Rockies here on Wednesday afternoon. Thank you to everyone who has switched streams with us as we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, just like the Reds pitching this afternoon. Trace, how we feeling?
I was, like I said, I was feeling great until I wasn't. And I think I'm actually thankful that the game wasn't really close. I mean, they kind of just completely blew it instead of just kind of blew it. So now I kind of feel okay about it, if that makes any sense. I assume some in the chat can probably relate. So I'm actually somewhat optimistic today. I'm going to try to be a new man, you know. I know as the day started, I was red hot, not happy, very pissed off. Probably more pissed than I really should be in life in regards to watching a baseball team. But I got to say, David Bell must have knew what he was doing. They scored 6 runs out there today in Coors Field. And I don't know. That's probably close to what you need to score to win. And then second to that, Jose Barrero had a good day. So I'm gonna hang my hat on that. That's right, Brian. Optimistic Trace. Can't see the chat. I'm not in my element. I'm just all over the place. If I got one more point to make, don't let me forget it, but I don't want to sit here and ramble on for too long. I don't know how long I can be on, but I do want to get into whatever topics you want to discuss and do my best to keep it moving.
All right, let's run through a quick box score recap. Then we'll get into a little bit of the game here with Trace, and if Trace has to run, that's fine. You know, I got 3 hours worth of minor league notes and a preview for the Yankees for you, so we'll make it work. All right, top of the second, Kevin Newman led off with a single, 100 miles an hour off the bat. Reds hit and ran with Will Myers at the plate. It was a good thing. Myers grounded into a double play right to the shortstop. Jose Barrero singled him home. 1-of-1-6 off the bat, put the Reds up 1-0. Barrero did get thrown out trying to stretch it into a double on the throw home, or I guess trying to get to second. It would have been a double. But nonetheless, did get thrown out. Fraley walked, then Luke Malley, who had a big day, doubled him home, put the Reds up 2-0. Top 5, Luke Malley led off with a solo home run, 424 feet, put the Reds up 3-0. Reds got 2 more on a Stuart Fairchild double. That made it 5-0. Graham Ashcraft was cruising through the first 4 innings, scoreless, getting a ton of ground balls, but just ran into trouble in the 5th. Coors Field giveth, Coors Field taketh. Ashcraft gave up 5 runs. Rockies tied the game at 5. It got uglier in the 6th. Ashcraft gave up a couple runs. Lucas Sims came in. He was even less effective.
Not good.
End of the inning, it was 11-5 Rockies. There was a lot of ugliness that happened. I don't think anyone really wants me to go through that. But it was ugly. It was 11-5. Reds did get a run back in the 9th, though, Trace. But that was it. Your final 11-6. Reds' first blown lead of 3+ runs this season, and they were up 5 in this one. Reds fall to 19-24 on the season. Just some, I guess, start with just some overall thoughts here, Trace, and we'll run into a couple different topics.
Yeah, a couple things through the rundown that you just said that kind of bring points up. I think that was a run and hit, not to get too semantics on you, Nick, but it was, I think there was 2 strikes on Will Meyer. So I hope to God we're not running a hit and run with 2 strikes. The second point that I want to make is that on that Jose Barrero getting to second base situation yesterday, I had made the point, if there's 2 outs in an inning or in this situation, I think that there was 1 out. More times than not, that they just don't cut the ball off. And you could make the argument that they're going to cut the ball off there if he decides to run. But if you really are a heads-up player, high IQ player, you know there's nobody actually covering first base in that situation right there. When you round the base, the first baseman was actually the cutoff man for that play. Barrero, when he rounded, could have and probably should have known that. The second baseman, who traditionally, if you play it by the book, is supposed to cover first base on a play like that, but he didn't. The second baseman, if you go back and watch the replay, was standing right there next to the shortstop in the middle of the field. So there's really no reason to be hesitant there. Like, you should round the base like you're going to go to second no matter what. And if it turns out to where they cut the ball off, well, they cut the ball off. You can then crawl back to first base if you need to. But Jose Barrero had a hell of a day. I'm not trying to crush him, but that's just one of those, again, just small things. High baseball IQ players do those things. Most people don't even notice that. They don't see that. But I wanted to kind of bring that up because it's just Barrero didn't it didn't kill him by any means. I'm not saying they lost the game because Barrero, got thrown out at second. But I do like the aggressive nature that this team plays with. I really do. It's going to burn us sometimes. There's going to be certain times where we get frustrated that they make an out that they probably shouldn't have. But I do like that. I do like being aggressive on the base pass. And good day for Jose Barrero. Made a good play up the middle. Overall, like I said before, I don't know. I mean, these are those games of 162. You feel like it got away from you. But you really can't point the finger at anything that was grotesque, if that makes any sense. I don't know what your overall thoughts on it were, but that's kind of my quick opinion about the whole synopsis of the game.
My first thought is, how about Brandon Williamson yesterday? I mean, Hunter Green and Graham Ashcraft got absolutely shelled in this ballpark. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure Brandon Williamson snuck up on the Rockies a little bit more, but I think you really see, wow, that guy going into that ballpark and doing what he did yesterday was impressive. Jose Barrero was awesome today. 2 for 3, 2 walks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there was some plan there. Maybe there was thinking, all right, we're going to sit Barrero down for 3 days. We're not going to send him down to AAA. We're going to bring McLean up. And I don't know. They know Jose Barrero better than me or you do. Maybe they think that would make him tick. Maybe it's just a complete anomaly. Who really knows? But great to see him have this kind of day. And they got to find a way to get him in the lineup. If he's going to be up here, I want to see this guy playing. If you have to DH him because you don't want to move the other guys to different spots, whatever, get this guy in the lineup, get him some at-bats. Let's see what he's got, because I still think there's some potential there, and he showed it tonight and really had a great day in the field too. I don't know. I really, honestly, the last couple innings got away from me as I was trying to set up a new stream. So if Jose Barrero made a dumb play in the 8th or 9th and you want to crush me for it, go for it. I have no idea. But from earlier in the game, made that really great double play. And I just thought he had a great game. I mean, is there anything with Graham Ashcraft? Or are you going to just
not worried about him at all? No. I'm not. I'm really not. I mean, Graham Ashcraft's he had Coors Field, I think, a little bit get to him. And you know what the thing is about Coors Field, and I've kind of lean towards the shout out Sir Boy, but I lean towards the Sir Boy wonders of the world, where it's like, okay, I don't buy into this Coors Field as just, you're gonna get crushed no matter what you do. Even if you throw great pitches at Coors Field, you're gonna eventually give up runs just because you're playing in Denver. I don't buy into that. I really don't. But I do buy into the idea that the altitude's one thing, but I just think that it's more or less the expansiveness, how big that damn outfield is. I mean, it's so big that unless you have elite level defenders in the outfield, and not trying to be too toxic Trace, but we don't have that. We don't have any elite defenders in the outfield. It's going to be difficult, It's going to be difficult. So I'm not worried about our guys. I'm a little worried about Lodolo, his injury, Steve Mancuso, which, from time to time can be a little pessimistic on Twitter. I thought he had a hell of an article that I read the other day about just the whole actually injury report of Lodolo, and he made some good points in regards to how serious it might be, and it's turning out to be relatively serious. But outside of the injuries, I'm not that concerned about the last few starts. Hunter Green, I know that everybody's making him a hot topic right now. I'd like to see him go out and kind of make a really good start to be able to kind of settle some nerves if he has any. But outside of that, I'm not really all that worried about the starting pitching. I know that people might be, but I'm not, to be honest.
Let's see what they look like.
Kevin Newman, also, last point I want to make in case I got to run. If Kevin Newman had to walk so McLean could run at second base, then that's the greatest thing that he's ever done for this franchise, and I will actually consider him an honorable mention Hall of Famer. If all it took was him to have to play second base today to get McLean at second base and Barrero at shortstop, then I'll tell you what, I'll actually buy a Kevin Newman jersey. Put that in the books. Listen to me, if McLean plays second base and Barrero plays shortstop during this Yankee series, I will I'm not starts. It's got to be a start. Let me be clear. Starts. I will get a Newman jersey and I'll hang it up in my house. Guarantee you. I'll get it all box framed and everything. I'll spend like $500 on the thing.
Wow. Big time announcement here on Chatterbox Reds Live here at 6 p.m. on Wednesday evening.
Yep.
All right. I'm not worried about Ashcraft either. I will make a point because I've been getting crushed in the off the bench chat and everywhere else. Hunter Green has an ERA of a half run better than Graham Ashcraft right now. So maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit on our Hunter Green hate. But let's move on to I don't really Lucas Sims, like I don't if there's one thing we want to I guess crush David Bell on today, because I know that's what everyone wants to do in a game like this. It might have been it might have been a good day to give Sims the day off. He really looked like he struggled on Monday, pitching in this altitude or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he's not your fireman. I don't know. I mean, I know he wants to strike out.
Nah, man. Listen, he's one of your best relievers, Nick. Like, he's one of your best relievers. I just because he looked somewhat poor the last time he came out at Coors Field, they were in a spot where they needed to get out of a jam. He brought his best reliever in that spot. Like, let's not. I get what you're trying to do, Nick. You're trying to be fair. You're always on the optimistic side of David Bell. I'm usually on the pessimistic side of David Bell. I have no gripe at all with what David Bell did today, outside of fill out the lineup card. And I will admit that maybe I was wrong with that. If the things that I don't think about, you become a little overly emotional. As Kevin Newman's in the lineup, I immediately am triggered. I just felt like I didn't really put into perspective McLean's situation of being, called up and having to get on a flight at 4 a.m. and then get out to Denver. And the next thing you know, it's just this crazy turn of events that you are a human. So maybe it was right to give him a day off. They have a day off tomorrow, right, Nick? So that's kind of where I was like kind of fuming a little bit, to be honest. It's like, this kid's 24 years old. Let's not act like he's glass. Let's stop treating these kids like they're damn, I don't know, glass, what's that? China. Is that what it's called?
Made out of glass, I think.
It's like what it was. What, fine china? I think that's what I'm looking for.
China doll.
Fine china. I feel like that's like a dinner set or dining set. Chat's probably all over my ass. I can't see the chat, and
does that make you sad?
Definitely. Yeah. That's hell. I mean, Nick, as much as I love you, that's half the reason I jump on every night.
Yeah, this to watch the folks give it to me. No, I just say that about Lucas Sims because I am a guy that very much my initial thoughts before the result, that's what I stick with. If I and when Lucas Sims came in, I was kind of like, so I felt that before. Like I'm not I don't judge things on what happens because
All right.
I think
You
that's
don't second. You don't second guess is what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I go with whatever I thought of the.
So you weren't happy they brought in Lucas Sims right from the rip, and then you were proven right. So that's why you brought it up.
Yeah, if there was something
kidding,
to criticize. Yeah, and on Matt McClain, I mean, he had played 8 straight games, 8 straight days, because in the minor leagues they played the Tuesday through Saturday or Tuesday through Sunday. I didn't have a problem with them giving a day off. We both thought when they called him up they were going to give him off Monday, but they decided to play him Monday right when he got there, and so we thought he was going to get a day off in this series. Anyways, went with that. Newman is if you're setting Newman up for success against a pitcher, it was the pitcher today, and he had a hit. He does hit lefties at a decent level. So, yeah, I didn't have an issue with that. It didn't really matter what lineup you run out there when you give up 11 runs, though, right?
You're so nice. You know what? By the way, congratulations on your shout out from Sadak today. First of all, John's just a hell of a guy for even talking about our podcast on the I don't call it the worldwide leader, but the Bally Sports of the world. So my main point to you is, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of us. You were John and I was Chris. I feel like Chris had like a nice little quick quip thing to say back to that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah. If you throw well, then it's great at Coors Field. If you don't throw well, then you just blame Coors Field. It's like, oh shit. I mean, we're in utopia. Everything's perfect, no matter what.
Yeah.
But anyways, very nice of John to do that, by the way.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. That was pretty deep in the show too the other night, so he must have been listening to the full episode. He just didn't tune in for 20 seconds. That's pretty cool.
He's a nut cutter. That's what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just some other. I mean, Spencer Steer, worth mentioning, had 2 hits today. Hit the ball hard. Stuart Fairchild had 2 hits. I also, and obviously Luke Malley. You got to talk about him. Home run and a double. I think he's really solidified himself as maybe the best catcher overall on the team at this point.
Yeah, number 1 in my book right now.
Yeah. I was looking at some stats earlier today, and something that did jump out to me, as bad as it's felt that Tyler Stevenson has been, he actually does have, I think, like a 344 on base percentage. So he is still getting on base at a pretty good level. Obviously, like overall is like 85 weighted runs created plus. So that's not where you want to be. But he is still getting on base. So he hasn't been maybe as bad as he's felt, at least at the plate. But Luke Malley's looked great, and looking like a pretty good signing. OPS now up at 833. He's the leader on the team. How about that?
Right.
I felt like TJ Friedel was missing this series. With his defense in the outfield, you were mentioning that earlier. He would have been a really, even if you had Stuart Fairchild in center and Friedel in left, or vice versa. I mean, that covers a lot more ground.
I think Friedel's the best center fielder we have. I really do. I'm not just saying this. I think I've actually said that on the show before. I don't know how it would have gone, Nick, but you can always play the what if game. But what if Fairchild actually catches that ball to start off the inning? We'll never know. It's hard to say that it would have not unraveled the way that it did. Maybe it wouldn't have, though. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the chat thinks. He just took a bad route to the ball. And I think that ball should be caught. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but
yeah, sorry, I'm slowing up here a little bit on my end. we're computer's working overtime, I guess, today.
You're right.
But yeah, no, he did get a bad route on that ball. Almost, he has really great speed. The fact that he's actually able to get his glove on that was pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, I think it was. They were all over on the broadcast, just a lack of experience on that. But yeah, I mean, that's a catch that keeps you in the ball game probably a little bit more and gives you a chance in this ballpark. But
yeah, I wouldn't. It's one of those plays where I wouldn't say it was 100% routine. I thought that Chris Welsh, who does an unbelievable job. I really do think Chris Welsh is underrated analyst. I'm not just saying that. I really do. Like he's good at his job, man. He had mentioned the idea of just having some experience, and maybe it was Sadak. I don't know. I was kind of listening in the car as I was driving, but just the fact that it probably travels a little bit better than it normally would, just because you're at Coors. But yeah, just a step slow or a bad route, and that was that. But nonetheless, I don't know if there's anything else that I need to kind of get off my chest or
Yeah,
lay on the table.
why don't we just well, I'll wrap it up with you here, then I'll finish up with some Reds minor league and a little bit of additional talk about the Yankees. What's your thoughts on this upcoming series against the Yankees? Because I think this is probably going to be the most energy that's going to be felt around the Cincinnati Reds the rest of the year, barring something crazy happening.
I'll push back on that a little bit. I think that they're going to have they'll have some energy when Ellie comes up. But as far as this series is important if we want to continue to act as if we're going to hang around and play quote unquote meaningful baseball. I feel like if we get swept in this series, you're looking at probably the realistic. I mean, you're staring at what you think's going to come right in the eyes at that point. You're pretty much, I don't want to say out of it, but you feel like you are. Unless this team finds a way to rattle off 6 or 7 wins in a row at some point, which the starting pitching is probably the thing I would point to and say, not to be too pessimistic or toxic, Trace, but you're probably not going to be able to rattle off a bunch of wins in a row based off the fact that we have the starting pitching looking the way that it does now. But it's important to try to win at least a game. I know that sounds ridiculous to say, but if they could take 2 or 3 and or God forbid sweep them, then I think that this whole energy situation that we got going on, the feel of the team, the vibe of the team could take a dramatic direction one way or the other. It feels like a kind of a swing momentum type of series, more so than others, just based off the fact that we came off of a series we felt like we should have won. You couple that into the idea of either getting back on track or spiraling out of control. So I like our matchup. I like our matchup on Friday. I did not get to see who the Yankees are throwing on Saturday or Sunday. Maybe you know that off the top of your head.
They haven't even announced technically Friday. Here's the graphic here. This is just who Fangraphs projects. But yeah, I mean they're gonna miss Cole and Nestor Cortez because they're pitching tonight and tomorrow night. Yankees are actually in Toronto. They play a night game tomorrow night. So hopefully that they really use up all their energy. I know that's been an emotional
15
series
innings
already. Yeah, use it all up. My guy Max, who's a loyal listener here to Chatterbox Reds, had a really great point on Twitter that Aaron Boone does like to give his players off days and sometimes multiples of them at a time after like a tough series like we had in Toronto. So maybe that's part of the thinking with throwing Ben Lively in game 1, because I think they could have thrown Luke Weaver in game 1, but maybe you're like, hey, maybe we can sneak by with a weaker Yankees lineup. But yeah, good series. I got some more notes here, Trace. I'll let you get off of here, and then I'll run through this and run through some Reds minor league, and then we'll wrap this up. And if anyone has any questions in the chat, feel free to chime in. I'll try to get to them. But thanks, Trace, for hopping on, making this work today. And Friday night, Reds Yankees. We're gonna have a good time this weekend, I think.
That's right. I appreciate it, Nick. Thank you for jumping through some hoops, getting the stream up, and sorry to the chat for not being able to see what you're saying. You probably don't want to hear from me anyways, and I probably don't want to hear from you more than likely. Take care of yourself, sir boy. You enjoy your off day tomorrow. You deserved it. All right. Peace out.
All right. Thanks, Trace. All right. That was our guy, Trace Fowler. Let's run through some notes I wrote down here about the Reds Yankees, and I got a couple other notes for you here as well. Yankees, they're 25-19. Like I said, they still play the Blue Jays in Toronto tonight and tomorrow night with Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortez going, so the Reds will miss both of them. Yankees are playing well, though. They're 7-2 since May 9th. That just happens to be the day that Aaron Judge returned to the Yankees lineup on the season. Yankees 21-13 with Judge, 4-6 without. Anthony Rizzo, he's also having a really good year. Their young prospects, Volpe and then Oswaldo Cabrera, really struggled out of the gates, but have been really hot of late. And I don't know if any Reds fans remember, but Jake Bauers is DHing right now for the Yankees. He was a guy that was trying to make the Reds out of camp last year and was just awful in spring training, was terrible in AAA, but he's come up and he's been absolutely crushing it for the Yankees. And he's their designated hitter for the mighty New York Yankees right now. So hopefully he doesn't come and have, one of those stupid series at Great American Ballpark. Other big note of the day, this is a quote directly from Bobby Nightingale. Nick Lodolo had a follow-up MRI on Monday that revealed a stress reaction in his left tibia. He is in a walking boot, and he's going to be reevaluated with another MRI in 2 weeks. So it sounds like Nick Lodolo probably going to be out maybe till at least after the All-Star break. So that's kind of a big blow to the season. Definitely a concern here going forward. I'm going to run through some of the Reds minor league stuff. Anyone's got any other questions, I'll get to those here at the end. But already completed today, Louisville bats 6-5 winners over Jacksonville. Will Benson had a walk-off sac fly for the AAA Bats. Bats now 19-21 of the season. They've won 3 straight, and they are 10-4 in the month of May. Ellie De La Cruz 0-for-4 with 3 strikeouts. Did have an incredible defensive play where he threw an absolute cannon. Go find that on the Bats Twitter account. Really cool. Christian Encarnacion Strand 1-for-4, hit his 10th home run of the year. Will Benson did walk, stole a base, and then had that walk-off sac fly. Jason Vossler, big fan of the chat, 2-for-3, hit his 2nd home run of the year, also walked. Michael Ciani, 3-for-4. And then I know we get a lot of questions about who's the next reliever coming up, and maybe it's Daniel Duarte. He threw a perfect inning, struck out the side in the 9th. Duarte has not allowed a run in 7 2/3 innings in the month of May, 8 strikeouts and 2 walks. Duarte's a guy I think the Reds really like. They had him on the opening day roster last year, but he got hurt like in the 2nd week of the season and missed the entire season. But if you're looking for who might be the next guy called up in the Reds bullpen when there's a need, which probably will be soon, might be Daniel Duarte. Double A Chattanooga, they won 2-0. The full Joe Boyle experience was on display today. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 9 walks, 3 strikeouts. I have no idea. Chat, do you have any idea how you walk 9 batters and don't give up a run? I don't even know how it's possible. Noelvi Marte, he's hitting well right now, 2-for-4 with a double. Reese Hines, 2-for-3 with a triple. And then tonight, Dayton, they play at 7:05. Chase Petty, Reds number 8 prospect, going to make his 2nd start of the season for the Dragons tonight. So 7:05, I'll be locked into MILB TV for that. And then Daytona plays Jupiter at 6:30. Let's see if we got any other stuff in the chat. Rolling through here. I saw a question from Brian. And Brian just brought up a good point that McLean was told on Monday that he was sitting. Yeah, I mean, David Bell typically makes up these lineups like multiple days in advance. So it's a good point there from Brian. Again, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I think Dusty Baker did this kind of stuff like all the time. He got everyone playing time. You want to keep your bench fresh. I get it. It stinks not seeing some of these best players, but I think this pretty much just guarantees that Matt McLean's going to be able to play all 3 games at Great American Ballpark this weekend in a big series against the Yankees. So I'm really looking forward to that. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to crucify David Bell for a game where Graham Ashcraft and Lucas Sims gave up 11 runs. Like, there's not much you can do about that. That's baseball. But yeah, good fun series here coming up against the Yankees. Looking forward to that. Be just awesome if the Reds could take 2 or 3. I think it really could. I know things like momentum and stuff like that can really be overbearing at times and overused, but I think it could really build some positive momentum for this team. Playing well this weekend against the Yankees. And yeah, I'm a wild boy. All right, chat. Well, love you all. We'll clean this up. We'll have a cleaner podcast for tomorrow. I'll let you know what happened in the 2 minor league games that happened tonight. But we'll see you after Reds Yankees Friday night. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Go Reds.